welcome to episode 23 of the Salapaloosa Knits videocast. Today is Wednesday, it is the 26th of September, and I was planning on recording this early this morning, but turns out I forgot most of my knitting in our bedroom, and Christian was sleeping after a night shift, so there was no way I would be able to get it without waking him up, so there you go. Yes, it's been a stormy, gloomy day, like most days this time of year in Bergen, but it's lovely to be inside. If this is your first time stopping by, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back, and thank you for spending a little bit of your time with me. This is a video podcast, and we are primarily talking about knitting, but I do have a newfound love for embroidery and yes, everything craftsy really, but we are primarily a knitting podcast. If you want to get in touch with me, I am Salapaloosa Knits on Instagram, and I am Salapaloosa on Ravelry. My design page on Ravelry is Salapaloosa Designs. If you have any questions, inquiries, collaborations, anything like that, feel free to get in touch with me at salapaloosa.knits@gmail.com. We have a podcast Ravelry group, and it is Salapaloosa Knits Podcast. And there you have it. Feel free to get in touch if there's anything you'd like to know or whatever. My name is Elizabeth, and I'm coming to you from the beautiful city of Bergen, which is located in the western part of Norway, and this is where I live with my wonderful long-term boyfriend Christian, and where I work in the psychiatry field. Alright, that's all of the introductions, so feel free to grab your knitting and let's get going. I'm grabbing some coffee as well. Yes, it actually does take a toll on your voice to talk for so long at a time, so it helps to keep your throat moist. Just going to press a little something there. How do I get that thing off? There we go. Sorry about that. Yes, okay, a little bit of admin. Rachel of Knit and Knitabilities and Stevie of Baby's Handmade Dress and myself, we are hosting the Fall Prep Cow, and it is coming to an end. I haven't been talking to them lately to discuss the closing of the cow, so for now it's at least going through the end of September, but we might elongate it a little bit, we'll see. It's basically just knit anything you'd like to wear for autumn when it gets cold and breezy wherever you're at, and you know, get all prepped up for fall. And feel free to enter your prize, that's not right, enter your finished object in the finished object thread in the Ravelry group. And if you haven't joined in yet, please join in the fun. You've still got time to knit, you know, a pair of socks or a headband or a hat or something fun. Yes. Also, I have been releasing 2 sock patterns lately, one of them in August and one recently in September, and that is part 1 and 2 of the Hello Sock collection, and I'm doing a knit along with that, and it's called the Hello Sock Along. Is that right? I say the wrong thing every single time. Hello Sock Along? I think that's it. I think it's, yeah, let's go with that. Hello Sock Along, I think that's the right one. And yes, feel free to enter your project in the Ravelry group as well, and you can be eligible for some lovely prizes. And do get in touch with me if you'd like to donate something for one of the cows. I would really appreciate that. And yes, what else? All of my lovely test knitters are also eligible to enter in the Hello Sock Along. Yes, that's it. Alright, done with that. Little announcement of sorts. This upcoming weekend is the Bergen Strikke Festival, the knitting festival of Bergen for all of you English speakers, and I am so excited. It's a knitting festival in my city, and it couldn't be any better. They got in touch with me and wanted to sponsor tickets for me that weekend, and needless to say, I was over the moon. I am too excited to go. I can hardly sit still just thinking about it. And clearly I will be posting tons of footage on Instagram on both the Friday, or I'm thinking, yeah, probably all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to do my best to make sure all of you with FOMO, fear of missing out, won't, feel like you're missing out too much, and feel like you're there with us and enjoying all the knitting fun. And also I am so grateful to the arrangers of Bergen Strikke Festival for thinking of me and wanting me to come, and yeah, I can't wait to meet everyone. And if you're going and you see me, please do grab onto me, not in a mean way, say hello. That's my point. I'm sure I'll want to meet you, and I'll be handing out free hugs all weekend. Unless you're a dreadful person, then you don't have to come up to me. No, that's, all knitters are wonderful people, I'm sure. But feel free to come up to me. I'd love to meet you all. Yes, okay. Enough about that. Let's jump into the knitting. I'll just have some of my water. Okay. So, we've got some big things happening lately. I've released 2 patterns since the last time we spoke. As always, life tend to get in the way a little bit of me planning on recording. Things happen, that's just the way it is. But this time it just feels like both forever since the last time I recorded, but also like it was yesterday. It's a weird sensation. But here we are. I've released 2 patterns, and I'm going to show you. One of them is the Minerva Mittens that I showed you last time, and they are now available on Ravelry. And here they are. These are the Minerva Mittens. It is a 2 colorwork mitten, and it's got a long lacy rib, and this is the back. It's different in the back and in the front. Here's the thumb. Yes, I am so excited about these. This long lace cuff just makes the most wonderful fit, and first of all, this lace cuff, it creates a sort of a hugging feeling on your wrist, which is just lovely in terms of fit. I'm going to pull it on and show you really quickly. Oops, just slapped my hand on the table there. I'm okay. Okay. So the cuff is quite long, as you can see, and it's also quite slim, so it hugs your wrist really well, and it just keeps the mitten on really well. It's perfect for winter or fall when you're wearing coats, and you can just make sure that you keep your hands and your underarms quite warm. Personally, I feel like keeping my wrists warm does help quite a lot if I'm cold. So I'm really pleased with that. I also truly just love the way that they look and the way that they feel on your hand. And yes, I'm just ever so pleased with the pattern, and I want to thank everyone for welcoming them, and for everyone who's been giving me some wonderful feedback, and everyone who's knitting them and wanting to knit them. I'm just so overjoyed and grateful to every single one of you for yes, being so sweet and lovely, and for welcoming them, basically. So these are the Minerva Mittens. They are available for purchase in my Ravelry design store. It's Salapaloosa Designs on Ravelry, and this pattern is already available in both English and Norwegian. Yes, I've knit these out of what's it called? Filcolina Awesha Classic, and it's a great soft enforced wool, but it is super wash treated. So I do also recommend that you maybe choose a yarn that is fingering weight, but that is non-superwash treated. There are a lot of wonderful Norwegian wool, especially from, for instance, Rauma, which is just a lovely Norwegian producer of yarn. Yeah, there's tons of brilliant yarn producers that make non-superwash wool that are just perfect for color work. This is the one that I chose, but any fingering weight yarn will do, but clearly non-superwash yarn is very good when it comes to color work. But you know, do whatever you please. I really want to make a pair with like a beautiful hand-dyed speckled yarn, and I'm also thinking that they would look extraordinary with a black and like a rainbow colors, and just some sort of gradient and black maybe. Yeah, I cannot wait to knit another pair. There's a certain possibility that most of my family are getting these mittens for Christmas this year. We'll see. We'll see how good they've been this year. Alright. Yes. So those are the Minerva Mittens. I hope you like them. And the next pattern that I have released lately, since the last time we spoke, it came out less than a week ago. It was on Sunday the 23rd, so 3 days ago, and it is part 2 of the Hello Sock collection, and it is the Elder socks. Now I'm sure they won't look their best on the blocker, so I will take them off, but I do want to show you the yarn that I'm using also. But let's talk about the pattern first of all. These are the Minerva socks. No, they're not. Sorry, these are the Elder socks. and they are inspired by the Elder Wand, and it is a lace pattern, and it's also got these 2 rows of crossover stitches, so it's not cables, and this is a just a lovely lacy pattern inspired by the Elder Wand and an elder tree, and it's the same pattern going up the back of the ankle, and it's got a twisted rib and a dropped heel. Yeah, the yarn I've used for these, I cannot even tell you how much I love this yarn. I'm actually going to put this on my hand for a sec so that you can see the beautiful speckles. I'm just going to pull off a couple of dog hairs on this because I wore these at my friend's house yesterday, and she's got the most beautiful Tibetan Spaniel, and he left some of his beautiful fur on me, but there you have it. This is the, see if we can get a little focus here. Focus. Hopefully it's going to come through. This is the Vintage China colorway. It is by Lay Family Yarns. If you've been watching my podcast for a little while, you know that I knit my Tanya out of the Magnolia colorway from Lay Family Yarns, and I absolutely loved that colorway so much. And let me tell you, this one is equally gorgeous. I love the subtlety of these speckles so much. It's this incredible neutral color, and it's got some pops of blue and purple and yellow and green and just all the lovely colors of the world, and I absolutely loved working with it. I wish I could do all of my knits in Lay Family Yarns. The contrasting yarn that I've used is total brain freeze. It is by Vicky Brown Designs, and I will put the name of the colorway on the down bar because I cannot remember it for the life of me at the moment. But yes, it's by Vicky Brown Designs. The blue is a beautiful blue, and it just picks up the speckles in the Vintage China absolutely perfectly. Yeah, so these are the Elder socks. It is a lace pattern, and it does look a little bit complex, but truly it is not. It's quite easy to make, and with all of this, it's a 3-part collection, and what I've wanted to do is create patterns and socks that look quite intricate and interesting, and that is fun to knit, but that keeps your interest, but is also not complicated and is quite potato chippy, so that you just have to do one more row, and I feel very confident about having achieved that. I definitely feel like the pattern is all of those things that I wanted for it, and I'm just so thrilled. I'm so thrilled about these. Yes, hopefully you like them, and like I said, if you want to make them, feel free to enter them in the Hello's Sock Along. That's what we went with. We are just sticking with it. That seems like a good idea. Let me just have some water here. There we go. Okay, so those are my 2 new released patterns. Head on over to the Ravelry store if you're looking for something new to work on. I will link to everything in there. in the down bar, and extended information can be found in the show notes, which I'll put up in the Ravelry group as soon as possible. Okay, so a lot of my knitting time has been going to perfecting these and just re-knitting and knitting new samples and things like that. So I spent some of my knitting time doing that, and I've been working a little bit on my well, there are quite a few other designs that I'm working on as well. That's been taking a lot of my time, but I showed you my crystal kofta, my crystal cardigan last episode. I've not done as much as I wanted, which I think I predicted quite clearly in the last episode, but I'll show you where I'm at, because it's still, I do think it's a beautiful knit and it's quite inspiring, and yeah, I would want to see it. So I'm going to show you. So I haven't actually completed 2 full repeats yet. I think I'd completed one of the repeats last week, so I honestly would have thought that I would be able to get some more work done on this than I have, but there you have it. And it's about I've done about half a repeat, I'd say, of the pattern. This is just all the way around, and it's a cardigan. This is where I'm going to stick it. And it's got quite a fitted, it's quite fitted and slim, and I'm knitting the XS size, which seemed to be the right one in terms of the measurements for the pattern. It's a pattern by Sonnes Garn, and the yarns I'm using, I know I bought extra ones this week. It's called Thun Merino. It's a commercial yarn by a factory, a Norwegian yarn factory that's called Sonnes Garn, and they made the pattern and also the yarn that I'm using. It's called Thun Merino Ull. It's a thin merino wool, is basically what it is, and also the name of it. And the colorway is 1002. So this is the main color, and the contrasting color matches my wool perfectly. I may have a little bit of a hookup on this jade color, but this one is the same type. It is called the colorway is called 7572, and yeah, no, you don't need to see that. I'll put it in the show notes. There you have it. I'm really excited about the cardigan. I haven't found the time to pick it up, and although it's not that complicated color work, it's only 2 colors, it's the same thing over and over and over again, but at the same time you do need to focus a little bit on it to be able to, you know, make sure you don't make any stupid mistakes, which is quite easily when I get overly confident and I think that, oh, I know this pattern by now, and I put on a movie and it takes all my focus, and I just, you know, my hands keep going and I hardly look down, and then, you know, for sure there's going to be a mistake somewhere. Or I look down when it's color work, but I may not notice the mistake right away. So yes, on this is living my little Jiggles and Beans vampire stitch marker. You know, it's October. He had to be with me. This is a little glow-in-the-dark vampire, which I bought last year and just thought was the most charming thing I'd ever seen. So he had to come and live with me, and yes, I'm knitting it on my Chiagu red lace needles, which I love, and they are perfect with this project. I'm using the recommended needle size for the pattern that worked well with my gauge, and yes, I think I've yeah, I probably said this before, but my problem with this pattern is that it's very, very, very repetitive. It's just the same thing over and over again, and that's probably why it's taken me a little while. That and the fact that I do need to pay a little bit of attention, and the last weeks have been quite busy, and I haven't had that much time that I could just sit and knit. So when I had some time off, I prioritized spending that with Christian and just doing some fun things together, because if I haven't been at work, he's been at work, and there hasn't been that much time together, but that's just the way it is. But I really want to have this finished. I want to be able to wear it, and I do love the design. I think it's very beautiful, and that repetitiveness also gives it a certain sort of classic elegance almost, or just a very calm expression and simplicity that really appeals to my Scandinavian heart. Yeah, so I can't wait to have it finished. It's just I'm realizing that it's gonna take quite a while to get there, but we'll get there in the end. No worries. Okay, so yes, I've been working on a test knit that's been a secret, and I haven't had the option of showing you, but the secret is out and it's going to be released on Monday. It's that's October 1st. It's a little project living in my Mermaid project bag. I sewn this out of a Tilde fabric. I've got a little macaron charm on the zipper, and it's a pair of mittens. It's a test knit that I've done for the lovely Lily of the Nordic Stitches and the Nordic Knitting podcast, or is a podcast also called Nordic Stitches? I'm going to have to check that real quickly because I don't want to get it wrong. No, it's called Nordic Stitches. The podcast is also called Nordic Stitches. Okay, so the beautiful Lily of Nordic Stitches, my fellow Norwegian and knitwear design extraordinaire, she has designed a pair of beautiful mittens, and they are called Nordic Delight, and they are so pretty. I cannot wait to show you guys. Let me just grab one of my Woodigo mitten blockers. How pretty are those? Now, the yarn I'm using is, one of them is speckled, the other one is a bit of a gradient, and unfortunately the beautiful speckled yarn, which is the Magnolia colorway, from also by Lay Family Yarns, and the pink one, it is the Super Socks Cashmere by Lang Yarns, and the beautiful Magnolia colorway, it does have a few pink speckles in it, and the incredible Super Socks Cashmere yarn is a little bit of a gradient, which maybe it does not show off the pattern to its full glory, but I do think you get the gist of it. And it is just, oh, it's so pretty, and I feel so honoured that Lily wanted me to test knit these. And this is the back. Aren't they just so precious? So I've completed one of them totally, and the other one I'm not quite there yet, but I was hoping that I'd get this done before the weekend, because I'm afraid I'll do mistakes on them if I'm knitting on them at the knitting festival this weekend, and I don't want that, and I really want to have both of them finished before her release date on Monday. So I'm just going to focus all of my knitting into getting these done, yeah, so that I can post some lovely pictures when she is releasing them. I don't have that much to go, but it's a little bit. It's a little bit left, but I'll get there. And also the thumb on this one. Yes, I'm knitting these on Knit Pro carbons. I've had an issue with my fixed circular carbons for a little while. Sometimes this part between the needle and the wire, it pulls out. And I mean, these needles are actually, they're a little pricey, and it really annoys me when things like that happen. So I've been a little bit upset with these needles because I didn't have time to get any new ones, and these were the only ones that I had available at the moment that weren't already attached to another project that I was working on. And also I didn't want to change to a completely different brand, because the type of needle, despite the fact that it's the same needle size, the type of needle that you use can absolutely alter your gauge. So I didn't want to change them, so instead I put a little bit of super glue inside the, I don't know what you call this little finding thing that attaches the wire to the needle. I put a little super glue in there, shoved the wire back in, wiped off it with a baby wipe, and it is completely smooth. There's absolutely no sign of the glue in there, but I'm a little bit afraid that it's just going to pull out again. So I'm trying to be a little bit gentle with them, and hopefully they'll last at least until I finish this mitten, and then, you know, I'm just going to have to trash them, I think, because they're just not reliable. Yeah, I've already had to glue them 2 times, so yeah, totally annoying, but there you have it. The mittens are at least absolutely stunning. Lily is just a design genius. I love her aesthetic, she's brilliant. So mark this in your calendars, everyone, October 1st. Yeah, they're so pretty. And also, I must say that I loved putting using the Lang Super Socks in one of the colours, because this beauty has got cashmere in it, and it's not a lot, but it is just enough to feel, you know, to get that just luxurious, super soft cashmere feel to it. And yeah, I love the way that feels, and I will absolutely do that again with another pair of mittens. So there you have it, Nordic Delights. Mark it in your calendar, folks. Yes, a little water for me. Okay, you know what? That's actually all of my knitting this week. Yes, that's all of the knitting I brought to show you this week. But I do have some embroidery. Last time I showed you this incredible pattern that I got, that I was just completely over the moon with the design of this beautiful artist. It's an Israeli artist, and I am going to butcher this name so badly. Tamar Nahir Yanei. Sorry. I will link to everything I can show you. This is some contact information. Hopefully you can read that. And I will also link to her shop in the show notes. And the pattern that I was doing is called Mermaid Dreams, and it looks like this. I did get 2 other patterns, but this was the one that I just, you know, I could not stop myself from not costing it on. What do you say? Stabbing it? I don't know what you say. You know, starting it anyway. Start stabbing it. And trouble with this was I did not have a hoop that would fit, because I only had larger hoops. The design itself is 16 by 16 centimeters, which is 6.3 times 6.3 inches. So times by 6.3 by 6.3 inches. And I got, finally, where is the hoop? I got this teeny tiny hoop. And I've just been pulling it all around the cloth that I am working on, and it has been working really well, actually. No issues with that. Sorry, I just put, where did that go? Okay, I'm going to explain what's going on here. I don't have a needle minder, but what I did have was an incredibly strong magnet. 2 of them, tiny ones. They are small, but they are incredibly powerful. And so what I did, instead of the needle minder, oh gosh, was put one of the little magnets, I got one of these little magnets on each side of the fabric that I was using. And they are just so powerful. So I just put one in the back and one in the front. Oops. One in the back. Oh. One in the back and one in the front, like that. And it's super powerful. And oops, yeah. The magnet is super powerful, and it just really pulls the needle to it. So I've just been using this as a needle minder. But what happened was I'd put this the fabric down, and the magnet had just zoomed up against the tray that I've got on my table, and it just did not want to come off. It was too powerful to grab onto, so sorry about that. But anyways, I'm going to show you what it looks like, and I cannot even, yeah, okay. I'm just going to show you. Okay, Mermaid Dreams. Okay, so how adorable is this design? I cannot even deal with it. It's so pretty. I just had to get going with this as soon as possible. Luckily, I got the tiny hoop, and I've just been, just moving that around wherever I am. The only issue I have with this was that I found that it did smash these, I think it's called a woven spiderweb stitch, these gorgeous little flowers here. I did find that they did sort of get a little bit squished because of the hoop, which was not good. I should have probably done those in the end. But the thing is, I'd never done those before, and I've seen them on so many designs, and I've always wanted to try them because I thought that they were so pretty, and they do give this gorgeous three-dimensional effect. You can see that there's quite a bit of plumpness to them, and it brings so much depth into the picture and the design. And so that was, one of the first things that I got going with. I got this as a kit from the designer that I showed you, and so this is a printed cloth, and I got a needle, and all of these colors, they are DMC Molinaire embroidery thread. And so I did not choose these colors. I wish that I could brag about that, because I think that they are just incredibly beautiful together, but I cannot take credit. I don't actually have a lot of it left. There's actually quite a few pieces left before it's finished. I could probably finish it in less than an hour if I wanted to. I'm really hooked on this embroidery bug, you guys. I think it's just so much fun, and this pattern truly was such an incredible joy to make, and I just absolutely loved both the designs, but also the colors and the techniques that she has chosen. Apart from that, I will say that with my very limited embroidery experience, just having quite good instructions are quite important, and this came with an embroidery stitch guide, and it was extremely concise and easy to read and to follow. Yeah, so super pleased with that. One more time. I'll also say that all of these, I think that I've learned quite a lot from the previous piece that I made, that I showed up last week. It's been framed, by the way. It's in its hoop. I'll post a picture on Instagram of that. I feel like I really truly learnt quite a bit from doing that piece, just about sort of getting the feel of the different stitches and how to do things properly, and just what works and what doesn't work and things like that. And I will say that at the point of making this, I felt quite confident about a lot of the stitches, and I do think that that shows in the work that I've done. Truly there's just not one of these stitches and the designs that I haven't been quite enjoying. There was also a new one to me, and it is these pretty little things that make up the tail, and it is called, let me just look it up so I don't get it wrong. It's called the cast on stitch, and they just look a lot like the bullion stitch that was on the Rosie's Houseplants design, but I just could not get the hang of that, and I truly hated making those. I did not enjoy it at all. I could not get the hang of it. I could not for the life of me find any decent instructions on how to do the stitch. But this one was just, it looks, in my opinion, absolutely just as pretty, but it's a different technique, and to me it just felt a lot easier. I've also said that I've definitely found sort of the sweet spot of the length of the back stitches, and I'm just starting to really nail those French knots, which is tons of fun because I do love making those. Alright, so that's that. I've got a second one of her designs that I showed you last week, so I'm not going to spend time doing that, but I honestly feel that I should probably dedicate a wall to her designs, because I do want to make all of them, and I've already ordered another one, and yeah, I want them all. So this is Mermaid Dreams. Alright, the last thing that I want to talk to you about is the lovely I Alstresse on Instagram. She contacted me and asked if she could send me some stitch markers, because she is a lovely knitter and maker, and she makes the most beautiful stitch markers, so clearly I said yes. And where are you? There we go. And she sent me a package with stitch markers and a beautiful letter that would just totally made my day. And they are so pretty. I'm just going to show you. We've got these beauties. There we go. They are just so precious, and this blue color is just gorgeous. So she actually generously sent me 2 packages of these, and 2 packages of these stunning autumnal little leaves. Aren't they gorgeous? And she said that I could do whatever I wanted with them, but clearly I'm not going to keep them all for myself. I want to give back to you guys, so these will go into sort of giveaway and knit along prizes, but I might want to keep just maybe these 2 for myself. Oh, but I do love these blue ones as well. It's going to be tough, but do give her some love. This is her shop, and I will put it in the show notes. Alright, you guys, I think that's going to be everything for this week. As always, thank you so much for talking to me and for spending a little bit of time with me. I've had a lot of fun, and I hope you have too. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to get in touch with me, and come follow me on Instagram if you'd like. That is definitely where I'm most active. And if you're curious about the knitting festival, I will be posting tons of footage over there this weekend. Yes, feel free to hit the thumbs up on the video and the subscribe button if you'd like. That would be really great. And I hope you have a lovely knitty week. Goodbye.